All right, Coach Diaz is ready joining us after tonight's Cheez-It Bowl, Camping World Stadium. We'll have Coach Diaz followed by Nkosi Perry for a few minutes. If you want to ask a question for Coach Diaz, you can raise your hand. Let us know you have a question. We'll call on you, and we'll get started whenever you guys are ready. Our first question will come in from Tom D'Angelo. Tom, you can go ahead whenever you're ready. You can just unmute.
Hey, Manny. Manny, could you, first of all, any kind of update you can provide, obviously, on D'Eriq, how he's doing, and then just talk about the performance of the team and Nkosi in particular coming in really a tough situation where you guys were pretty much reeling and not looking very good that first quarter.
Yeah, in terms of D'Eriq, we'll evaluate him tomorrow and know more. That's really all we can say at this point. It's all we know at this point. In terms of the team, I mean, number one, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State. That was obviously an outstanding ball game, highly competitive. At no point did I think that we would lose that game. And I don't think our team did either until it hit triple zeros. The way we battled, the way we fought, the way we played for each other was inspiring. However, we just made too many mistakes to win a football game. There were some red zone issues that got us, a 2-point conversion that was, and then it wasn't. In a game when you lose by 3, a touchdown that was and then wasn't. Some of those things that took points off the scoreboard for us, and we ended up not being good enough to overcome. But we continued to fight, and the team rallied behind Nkosi, didn't flinch. And I'm proud for Nkosi the way he went in there and played hard. And so many guys that played well, but ultimately, like I said, too many mistakes to beat a good Oklahoma State team.
Up next, we'll have David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hi, Manny. You said you weren't going to be waiting on any news regarding player decisions for next year, that you already knew, obviously, and are just letting the players announce. Do you think now D'Eriq's injury could change some decisions one way or another based on whatever feedback you get tomorrow?
David, I wouldn't be able to comment on the intentions of our players, so I don't have an answer for you on that.
Coach, our next question will come from David Wilson of Miami Herald. David, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Manny, going back to Nkosi, just kind of what impressed you most about what he did tonight, and just kind of generally for him. I mean, obviously you guys bring D'Eriq in, you name him the starter before the season, and it feels like there were times when he probably could have transferred or maybe even thought about it. I'm just curious, what were some of maybe your conversations like with him over the last year, and just kind of how happy I know he obviously didn't get the win, but to have him get a chance like this and perform well.
Well, when D'Eriq came on campus, Nkosi could have gone one or two ways. And I'll tell you, I mean, his last 12 months on our campus and who he has been in our program has been his best 12 months. And it's tough, it's tough to be the backup and you're waiting for your shot and you don't ever know. And so the fact that he got it on a stage like this in a bowl game and what he looked like to me is he looked like a guy that's played a lot of ball. He's been in a lot of big situations. And I think the team had confidence in him that we could move the football with him in there, and that's exactly what happened.
Coach, our next question will come from Barry Trammell. Barry, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah, Manny, Oklahoma State's first 3 drives, they went pass heavy, went bang, bang, bang right down the field, 3 easy touchdowns. After that, their passing game and the entire offense came back to earth. What happened early, and what did you guys do to sort of stop that offense?
Well, I mean, there were obviously some adjustments that were being made. As you mentioned, I think we were a little bit caught off guard on how pass heavy they were compared to what their normal MO had been, but it just didn't look like in the first quarter. It's not that it didn't look like it. We didn't play defensively, and whether again it was just a lack of confidence from the game previous, which should not be, shouldn't be an excuse. But for whatever reason, it just took us a while to settle down, and we finally got to stop. And then we just relaxed and started playing. And we had a huge sudden change stop right before halftime. But it felt like the key point in the game was when we fumbled the punt. And it was a very close game. We lost turnovers, and that was the deal. We had a situation in the third quarter where we had a pick that wasn't. Then we had some other issues with penalties. And then they got the long drive there. And I think they were able to capture momentum back in the third quarter, which was important.
Coach, our next question will come from Matt Rochelle of the Orlando Sentinel. Matt, you can go ahead and unmute when you're ready.
Manny, I wanted to ask, even though De'Aaron was hurt, he still came out and was on the sideline supporting his teammates. What does that say about him as a person to be out there all the time to keep those guys motivated when you guys are trying to rally back?
That's Derek cares so much for his teammates, cares so much for our football team. And that's who he is every day in our facility and in the locker room, he loves these guys he plays with. And I know it hurt him to not be out there with them, but he was going to do anything he could to help encourage the ones that were.
Coach, our next question will come from Ruthie Polinsky of WTVJ. Ruthie, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, talk a little bit. Oops, am I muted?
You're okay, good.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about De'Aaron, if you don't mind, just kind of your emotion seeing him go down. Obviously, it's been kind of a exciting and now really kind of heartbreaking week for him. Just kind of the roller coaster of emotions and the ability for you guys to kind of then play a football game afterwards is remarkable.
Yeah, it's harsh in a year that's had so much adversity. And for a guy that does everything right, and like I said, hopefully we'll get good news tomorrow. But, that is a difficult pill to swallow for, like you mentioned, for the entire football team. So the fact that everybody rallied, not just behind Nkosi, but everybody just rallied together says a lot about the mental toughness of our football team.
Coach, our next question will come from Christopher Heidel. Chris, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, Coach Diaz. Sorry for the tough loss tonight. I like having Perry as a backup, knowing if next year when King gets hurt or anything happens, you have a very good backup.
Yeah, well, like I said, we love our quarterback room, and not just Nkosi, but Tyler Van Dyke and Peyton Matoka, and then the addition of Jake Garcia. And we felt like that was one of the big things that we had to get right here at UM is get our QB room right, and just not just in terms of on the field performance, but off the field maturity level. And those guys have all done a really nice job. And like I said, we feel, we feel like we like where the future is of that position here at Miami.
Coach, our next question will come from Luke Hetrick of Spectrum News 13. Luke, you can go ahead.
Coach, you had said earlier this week that the opportunity to win a bowl game like this could spring forward and give you guys some momentum going into next year. Having the way this one finished, how does it impact how you guys want to take that next step forward?
Well, it shows us, it shows in a nutshell what we have, which is we have a guys that will play and give everything for one another. But it still shows some places where we're lacking, really in all three phases. Offensively, we obviously had some drop passes, a chance to make some big explosive plays against our defense. Special teams, we had a very costly turnover, had a few penalties, and then defensively, again, just too inconsistent. Looked dominant at times, which was encouraging to see, but then, allowed too many points for us to win a football game. So we don't run from this, and I told the football team, look where we were 12 months ago, so what do you do is you go get to work, you fix what you have to fix, and that sets the tone for the offseason program. And we talk about offseason starting, we basically told our team they've got 24 hours to feel bad about this. And even though you won't be back on campus until the end of January, it's time to get to work, and so I think that's an instant refocus for us. I'm proud of the players for improving our football program from where it was a year ago. I think we're at a different level than we were. We need to get there's another level that we need to climb to next year. And that will be the focus of our offseason program.
Got time for one or two more for Coach. We'll take the next one from Manny Navarro, The Athletic, and then we'll do one more after that and get you out of here, Coach. Thanks.
Hey, Coach. Curious, you guys obviously gave up the 21 points quickly on defense, but you made adjustments to slow them down. What specifically was working for you guys that was able to get you back in the game on defense?
Well, as was mentioned earlier, they had really come out throwing the football. They really weren't running it all that much, and which we felt was encouraging because we knew they wanted to run the football, and sooner they were to get to that. And I thought we did a really nice job with our run defense, especially compared to what our last time out. And we simply started winning the one-on-one matchups down the field, and played our coverage a little better. And I think that's what gave us a chance there. And then, like I said, there was a crucial turnover in the third quarter that put them on the short field. And then we had, we had some calls go against us, let's just say, in our secondary, where I thought we were just competing our asses off and out competing them that were called as penalties. We had a crucial interception when we had all the momentum taken away. And that was, I think, probably one of the most frustrating parts, but our guys didn't flinch. They kept playing, but ultimately there was just ended up being too much to overcome.
Coach, we'll take one more from David Furones of the Sun Sentinel, and then we'll bring Nikosi Perry up here to follow. David, you can go ahead.
Hey, Manny, just wanted to stick with the defense. Your evaluation of the defensive ends in this game that had to play a bigger role with Jalen Phillips and Quincy Roche opting out. And can you detail some of your reasoning on some of the defensive lineup changes, like Brian Balaam starting at safety?
Yeah, Brian's deal was just simply a discipline deal, just where we felt like in December, just he wanted to start just by doing the right things, in our program, and then the defensive ends, look, obviously, not having 2 and 15, that was a big miss. The first touchdown they scored of the game, they got a 4th down and the quarterback's running around and was able to buy time and throw it. And, but that's where we are. I thought they played hard. I thought they fought hard. They certainly make some mistakes, but I thought those guys gave us what they had. And some of those guys flashed and, Jafari made some flash plays and showed why we're really excited about those guys' future. Just, what happens, now as the future gets a little bit sped up with those guys having to step up their role. So I'm proud of their effort.
Coach, thank you for your time. We'll bring Nikosi Perry up here momentarily. And thank you again, Coach, and good luck next season.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.